Foreign service at home and abroad. To foster and maintain international relations, many countries appoint diplomats, individuals who represent and advocate for their respective countries on the world stage. One such person is Anna S. Krogimi, a diplomat at the US Department of State. S. Krogima took a trip overseas to France. That trip ignited her passion for overseas travel, which is why ever since then she has developed her interests in Arabic language and public diplomacy to work as a foreign service officer. Which choice most effectively combines the sentences? So one such person is Anna S. Krogimi, a diplomat at the US Department of State. A trip to France she made that ignited her passion for overseas travel. So this is not active voice, so I don't like this, right? By Esco Grima taking a trip to France, her passion for overseas travel was ignited. Ever since a trip to France ignited her passion for overseas travel, she has developed her interest. So this is precise and conveys the right idea. What ignited her passion for overseas travel was a trip to France. Therefore, ever since then. So this is one too long, and this also has punctuation error because, yeah. So this therefore starts a new sentence. So that is wrong, and this is wrong as well. It was after a study abroad trip to Paris, which she met people from both French and Arabic speaking communities, that she decided to make Arabic her fourth language. So here I have to say where, because I'm talking about Paris, so a place. So it was after a study abroad trip to Paris where she met people from both French and Arabic speaking communities that she decided to make Arabic her fourth language. With her newfound interest in Arabic language and culture, S. Krogima sought out and held an internship with the US Foreign Service at the US Embassy in Cairo. There, she would not only hone her skills when it comes to Arabic language abilities, but in addition, she would also get a taste of diplomacy in action. Okay, so let me first decide the underlined part. So this should be the underlined part, right? Till here, yeah. So there she would not only hone her skills when it comes to Arabic language. Okay. There she would not only hone her ability in Arabic. Yeah, so we just have to use the concise answer, which has no redundancy. So C should be the answer. There she would not only hone her Arabic language skills, but also get a taste of diplomacy in action. Right? Ability in Arabic language and fluency, this is redundant because ability in a language is the same as fluency. Skills and competence is redundant. Not only and in addition is redundant, right? So the one which is concise is option C. The writer wants to add the following sentence to this paragraph. Born in New York to parents who immigrated from the Dominican Republic, Escogrima grew up speaking English and Spanish, and she studied French in high school. Okay. So this would come before the first sentence because I'm talking about the fact that she learned, she grew up speaking English and Spanish and studied French in high school. And then it was after a study abroad trip to Paris that she decided to make Arabic her fourth language. So she already knew those three languages. And then Arabic became her fourth language. In 2003, after completing her master's in international affairs at Columbia, Escogrima secured a full-time position in the State Department. Officers in the US Foreign Service pursue one of 5 career paths. They become consular, economic, management, political, or public diplomacy officers. Escogrima chose public diplomacy, and consistent with such professions, hers required superior communication skills. Best transition. Okay. Over the next 4 years, She would serve in Tunisia, Syria, and Iraq before spending 3 years at the State Department's Dubai Regional Media Hub in the UAE. Okay, so I'm looking at the fact that she chose public diplomacy, and like most FSO's careers, hers took her around the world and back. So that makes sense because I'm talking about the fact that she served in all of these countries. Communication skills, not so much. So, not talking about that. Following in her parents' footsteps, she devoted her life to public service. Several years later, she would teach a graduate level course. So, none of these connect to the next paragraph. So, B is correct. Over the next 4 years, Eskrogrima would serve in Tunisia, Syria, and Iraq before spending. So, this was before is a new sentence. So, this comma is wrong. Who would serve in this doesn't make sense because I have to write a complete sentence and you cannot have a full stop because the sentence is not complete. So the way it's written is fine. In 2011, she met with the advisory board of the Institute for the Study of Diplomacy to discuss her experience at an invitation-only leadership seminar held at Georgetown University, which choice supports the development of the paragraph's narrative. Her next posting took her back to the US, first to Washington, D.C. as an advisor to Undersecretary for Political Affairs, Wendy Sherman, on issues related to Iran and the Middle East, and then home to New York, where she was appointed diplomat in residency at City College of New York. Okay, so we see that she went to all of these countries and then she spent 3 years in Dubai. Okay, between 2005 and 17, she served under 3 different secretaries of state. In Dubai, she worked as an Arabic language spokesperson, often appearing on local and pan-Arab television as a representative of the US government. In Tunisia, she was visited by her mother, who, as Krogema says, has an adventurous spirit. So I like C because I'm talking about the fact that she was part of the Dubai media wing in the UAE. And then this explains what she was doing there, right? And then I'm saying that her next posting took her back to the US. So obviously, the fact that she worked with different secretaries of state doesn't make sense, or the fact that she attended this seminar and the focus on her mother here would not make sense. First to Washington, D.C. Yeah, so here I would need a colon because I'm explaining how her next postings took her back to the US. So I like B. A semicolon is not correct because the part after the semicolon, this is not a complete sentence. And these two don't have any punctuation after US. In the latter position, right? Because we're talking about diplomat. So her position, in the latter position, she worked as a liaison to the public, teaching classes on diplomacy in the Middle East and entertaining information sessions to help educate others about the broader mission of the State Department. So teaching classes on diplomacy and hosting information sessions, right? She was the one who planned and executed them. So hosting is the best word. She may not have emceed them. I think she's too senior to MC an event like that. And A and D don't fit the context. Soon, Eskrogrima would return overseas, holding senior diplomatic positions at embassies in Algeria and then Yemen. Whether at home or abroad, though, she says she's energized by the constant adventure of working in the US Foreign Service. She has the opportunity to meet new people, learn about various cultures, and assist the State Department in recruiting officers that better reflect the broad spectrum of American society. The writer wants to incorporate a quotation from her City College of New York interview that supports the central idea. Which choice most effectively accomplishes this goal? Okay. So she and bear the bold responsibility of being the face of America to the world, teach at college dedicated to inspiring, help American diplomatic relations by providing policy advice to senior government officials. So definitely not C and D, because that's not the main point of the passage. The main point of the passage is, yeah, I would go with B, because the main point is that you are representing America to the world as a member of the US Foreign Service. Assisting the State Department in recruiting officers, that again is a very specific responsibility, maybe, so doesn't go with the overall theme. Okay, let's grade this. Yeah, starting from 12. C, B, C, A, B, C, B, C, A, B, and 17, A, C, B, B, C, B, A, C, B, B, C, and B.